You're listening to Who's Tom and Dick, a weekly podcast with your hosts, Martin Weavers, fighting stage 4 lung cancer, and Patrick Mortimer, living with heart disease. Why not grab yourself a cup of coffee, sit back, and enjoy the chatter as we discuss and share information, talking about tough subjects, and offering help, support, and motivation with a positive mental attitude.
Hey, it's Friday again, and we're back.
And we're in the studio.
I don't know what all these knobs and buttons do. That's the trouble. I'm a bit kerfuffled this morning. How are you?
Yes, I'm on top form again this morning. I feel really, really good. I've got lots of exciting things planned and all things like that I want to share with all the people who listen to our podcast and all that. So I'm doing well on my diet. I'm down to 15.4 now.
Hang on, because you're dieting because you've got a new career ahead, haven't you?
Yes, I have got a new career.
Shouldn't you actually be putting on weight for this job?
Well, I will be in theory when I start it, but I went for an interview. Lenny saw it advertised, and obviously I can't do nothing stressful because of, I get out of puff and things like
strenuous, you mean? Strenuous even.
Yeah, strenuous, yeah. Because I get out of puff, I have to, take things easy. So she saw this job and she read it and she said, Weavers, she said, this will be the ideal job for you. And guess what it was?
Oh, no. Wait for it, folks. Wait for it.
Ho, ho, ho. It's Father Christmas.
You're going to be a Father Christmas.
I am going to be Father Christmas. Yeah. Well, I didn't know when I applied for the job that I was going to be a Father Christmas. But...
Well, how many people applied for the job then?
I don't know. All I know is they have the ones they had from last year. That some of them are going to come back. So...
Right. So there's going to be more than one then?
Oh, God, they'll have to be because it's on a shift pattern. I think they have about 4 Father Christmases on a day.
So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to interview Father Christmas.
Are we?
We are. I've got some questions for you.
Have you?
Yeah.
Can't I just tell you what I did in the interview?
Go on, tell us what you did in the interview first.
All right. So we went into the interview and I thought, what have you got to do an interview for Father Christmas for? And I thought, well, I suppose they've got to know me and what I'm like. We sat down and I sat next to 4 elves.
You're joking.
No, they were dressed up as elves, or partly because they'd come sort of partly dressed for their role to be an elf, because there's auditions for Father Christmas.
Did you go dressed as Father Christmas?
No.
So you didn't get into the spirit very much then?
Well, when I go back next week to meet the Father Christmases, I'm going to dress up then.
So you sat between 4 elves?
Yeah.
2 elves each side?
Well, no, there was me and 4 elves sitting along in a row. But one of the Father Christmases didn't turn up for the interview. So
I'm surprised. You must be busy this time of the year.
It's wrapping the presents.
Yeah.
So we sat there. Then they said, this woman who works there, she got dressed. She was dressed as an elf. So she gets up and she's all excited and well, hello, I'm Pixie Elf, I am. And she pretended she was the elf to show these girls how they've got to be. And she was really, really good. Anyway, she had a mood board. So she had a piece of paper in her hand. On it, she had her favourite Christmas song, what she does on Christmas Eve, and her favourite Christmas joke. And there was about 15 things on this little piece of paper. Anyway, she said, right, now it's your turn. So she gave us a piece of paper with those same questions on, and we had to write down what favourite things were. Well, we had to put, what name do you like to be called? Well, of course, all these girls were saying, oh, my name's, Pixie Elf and things like that. So I thought, oh, God, what can I say? So I just said, I'm Daddy Crimble. And I thought it'd be a little bit different. And anyway, I put on the voice of Father Christmas like this. And
has he got a voice then?
Yeah, of course. Father Christmas speaks like that, doesn't he? Hello, how are you? Come in. Have you done your homework?
You're scaring me now. Go
on. So anyway, did the mood board and made them laugh a little bit, and then we had to have an interview, and the interview was serious, like a proper interview. What have you done? Where have you been? And I told them my life story, and in 5 minutes if I could do that.
Yeah.
They thought it was really interesting that I'd been to Benidorm singing, and I've been in a band and fronting a band and all things like that. And they said, "So you won't be shy as being Father Christmas?" I said, "I don't think so." And then I got an email to say that I've got the job.
Did this come from the North Pole?
Yep, it was stamped. I've kept it as a souvenir.
Right. Okay. Go on.
Yeah, and that. So then they said, I've got to go in for induction training, and for health and safety. Yeah, no, health and safety training.
What health and safety training does Father Christmas need then? Not to fall off his sleigh at high speeds?
If there was a fire in the building where I'm sitting, that's the kind of health and safety training you need. So
You'll have to make sure that your costume isn't highly flammable then.
I should think so. And the beard.
Yeah.
Apparently, they give us two beards
Do they? Why is that?
in case one gets dirty, I suppose. But well, the contract's for a month. You don't want to keep breathing in. Yeah, I know it's my breath. The same old thing, do you?
That's only a month, the contract.
Yeah,
What month is it?
November. Nah, that got you, didn't it? That's the end of November to the 24th of December, and then I can rest then.
Well, you can't rest because you'll be out on the 25th.
No, I won't. It's the 24th you go out. You're home for the 25th.
Yeah, but don't forget that the 24th here is the 23rd somewhere else because the time difference around the globe.
True. It's Australia, isn't it? They get it first.
Anyway, what inspired you to become Father Christmas?
I think with what I'm like in life, I'm quite happy, jolly. The job entails, I've seen the videos on YouTube. So if you go on YouTube and type in, I didn't tell you where it is, first of all. It's not in like a little shop in the corner. This is at Centre Parks. One of the huge holiday firms. And if you type on YouTube, Father Christmas Elvedon, not Elforden,
Yeah.
Elveden, Elvedon, then you see what the Father Christmas does. And they sit in the corner of the room,
Right.
greet the child with the parents, obviously, and then they get them to turn round and have a photograph with Father Christmas. And there's an elf with you as well. And they press a button to take the photograph, and then the people can buy the photographs afterwards. But I thought, I'm happy and jolly, and I've done the role before in a school.
And you like working with children?
You're smiling because you can see me really thinking about this role and getting into it. And we should have videoed this one. But anyway, no, I think I'm perfect for the role.
Well, how do you manage delivering all those presents in one night?
That is a trade secret.
Fairy dust.
Hey?
Fairy dust.
Yeah. That the elves wrap all the presents for me, and I do get around. Just believe me that I do get around.
What's your favourite cookie?
My favourite cookie would be one with icing on, and it would be strawberry flavoured icing with hundreds and thousands on it.
You do realise we're talking about Christmas in September.
I know.
You've got plenty of time to prepare for it.
Well, yeah, but then you think I go for this meeting with the Father Christmases, then I go for the health and safety training, and I'm going to keep saying that, and then it'll be here.
How do you keep the magic alive for all these children?
I think you keep the magic alive by being the role. If I come in and say, "All right, kids, how you doing?" I don't think they'd really believe that. So you've got to say, "Hello, children, how are you? Have you done your homework? Have you been good?" So
you're going to get a slap. I can see this coming.
Well, from the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, don't mention Arsenal, will you?
No, I won't.
How do you manage your schedule during the silly season then?
My schedule?
Yeah.
Well, not my schedule.
Your schedule or your schedule. Don't forget you've got all your CT scans and that to have.
I know.
Are you going to go into hospital dressed as Father Christmas?
I'll tell you what, I'd love to borrow the uniform and go in certain places, but no, well, I'm having the scans this week actually, and I get my results next week, which is my quarterly exam, not exam, a scan. So all the things like that should be out of the way. And also, if a hospital appointment did come in during when I'm scheduled to work, then I'd have to either say, "Can I go for it?" and change my shift, or change appointment. That's as simple as that.
Well, if you can deliver presents all around the world in 24 hours, then getting to a cancer appointment isn't going to be too difficult, is it?
No, that's true.
How do you stay warm in the North Pole?
I don't know.
Well, you should do your Santa.
Oh, I thought this was a joke.
No.
How do you stay warm in the North Pole? Oh, I've got lots of coats and things like that around me,
Right.
and the elves they come round and keep me warm as well.
You start in November.
Yeah.
Have you got to have a CRB check?
Yes. Yeah. I've got to have one of those. I thought because I'm going to be with other members of staff there that I wouldn't have to have one, but yeah, I'll have to have. They'll have to look into my criminal past that isn't there. So I've never failed. You know, they always come back pretty quick for me. So, but I will be. By the way, would you like me to come down your chimney?
No, thank you very much. I'm sealing it up as we speak.
All right.
Well, I admire well, I don't know what I do on mine, to be honest with you. But I don't think I'd let you near my children. But
Yeah, but they are about 25, 30, and 28.
but I'm sure you'll be very, very jolly. What's your secret for staying jolly?
Getting over this cancer, getting rid of that out of my lung, and just loving every single day. I don't take it as a joke, but I do it with a little bit of jollity. And is that a word, jollity?
I don't know. You just made another word
I
up.
just made it up anyway.
So, in that case, what's your favourite part, or what will be your favourite part of being Father Christmas?
I think meeting the kids, asking them what they want for Christmas, obviously. I mean, not that I know I keep saying, have you done your homework and all that, but I suppose that will be one of the questions you do ask. But just seeing their faces, I mean, you're going to get some that come, because I've done the role before in a school, and you do get some who just put their head down and cry and things like that, and then the mum sort of say, he's all right, and then you have to try and be friendly with them and all that. So I think I could be that. So that's what I'm going to do.
That's very interesting. Very interesting. I might bring my grandkids.
Yeah, would you do it?
What?
Be Father Christmas?
Well, I've not really got the right build for it, have I?
Yeah, you don't have to, because they give you a padded coat. If you look in the videos right now, they give you a padded coat, and when you look, he's got a huge big stomach on there,
Right.
Which I just got rid of.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you heard it, folks. First, we've interviewed Father Christmas alive on Who's Tom and Dick. I know it's early, but he's got to get his preparations done fairly quickly because he's got to learn his ho 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 and everything else. He's got to learn how to drive the sleigh. Did you get a sleigh?
no, yes, I do. I don't personally get it myself.
Make your mind up. Come on.
Yeah, but there is a sleigh,
Right.
and they do a parade like Disneyland do a parade. It's not obviously as big as a Disneyland parade, but they do a parade with Father Christmas on the front float, waving to everybody. And guess what the sleigh's pulled with?
Reindeers?
We're in Norfolk.
We're not tractors.
Yes, a tractor. They pulled the sleigh round with a tractor.
Oh, well, I suppose they could put a red nose on the front.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. That's Rudolph, isn't it?
Is that the aim of every Santa to get onto that sleigh then, is it?
Yeah, I think that's probably the pole position, isn't it, really?
So there could pole position. So there could be some fisticuffs then.
You never know.
I've seen these bad Santa films.
I think my children think it's going to be like that. It's going to be a free for all to see who does it. But I don't know if they share the role around, and the people who've done it last year, they'll get a new kid on the block to do it.
Yeah.
But I said that I'd sit on a sleigh at the top there and wave to all the children. But it's not just that you do. You obviously sit in a room that they've made out all Christmassy, and meet the children. But you also go to the pottery shed, or where they make all the kids make all the pottery, or they go to the donut place.
Oh, no.
Sorry, not the donut, the pancake place, the pancake hut. and Father Christmas has breakfast with them.
Right. Okay.
I do think that I remember them saying that they can request Father Christmas to come around their chalet. So
Right.
that would be quite interesting. But I'm looking forward to this, and I can report on it next year, I suppose, won't we? I never thought I'd be Father Christmas in such a big place. That's the thing that's got me. It's not just a little holiday camp, or it is Centre Parks, which is huge.
Yeah.
So. And who knows what comes of this? They might want someone at Easter to be a bunny. Yeah. Or Halloween. Tell you what, Halloween, I'll get you to come along with me. That'll frighten them.
Yeah. Thanks very much. We must get some pictures of this, by the way. I don't know how, but we must get some pictures of
I've
this.
thought of that. When you go down the log flume at a fun fair, they take a photograph of you,
Yeah.
and you can go and buy it at the end. Well, that's what they do that with the elf and Father Christmas and the child who's in there, and they take a photograph, and obviously they go and buy it. Well, there'll be some kids who won't buy it, won't there?
Yeah.
So what I'll do, I'll have a word with the photographer or something and say, "Can I have one of those photographs?"
Yeah. They won't probably won't want you to take one with a child on it, though, will they? So you might have to get them to take one of you on your own.
Yeah. Well, what we'll do if I can get one on my own, we'll put it on the website.
Yeah. Because they want to pixelate out the face of the Father Christmas, probably.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, there you go. Guys, if you're local to Norfolk, get down to Centre Parks and go and see him.
Yeah, don't say hello, Martin.
Anyway, talking of CT scans and things, you got one due soon?
Yeah. I do it quarterly now, and my appointments going to see the doctor are getting wider apart as well now, so that's quite good. Instead, used to be every 4 weeks, now it's 6 weeks. So you never know; it might even get extended more than that. But I'll have the CT scan with this cannula in, and then I can let everybody know how it goes. But the last two
Good.
have been completely clear. If I can get this one, that'll be 3/4 of the year that I've been clear. They're harmless enough. You just go through, and there's an American voice. Breathe normally. Breathe in. Breathe. So
Is that the same bloke that's done our introduction?
it might be, mightn't it? But and then you sort of hold your breath, and then they take the photographs of your body, and it's amazing, really. I mean, if you haven't seen a CT scan, then you've been very, very lucky that you haven't had to go in hospital, of course. But they are amazing what they can show through your body and all that. And I get the photographs back, and they show me ribs, and they show where your heart is, and they show everything. And then, as I say, the whole of my left lung did show a whole circle of cancer around it. And then miraculously, these loratinib tablets have taken it away, and there's just nothing there. When you get a photograph, what you take, you can edit it. This is what I've done anyway. And you put your finger on the screen, and you move your finger around and all that, and you take some little bits out. Say you want to blank your registration number of your car if you put it on Facebook. It almost seemed as if someone had done that on my lungs. When I looked at the new picture with no cancer in it, it was almost as if someone had got the black, and where the cancer was just gone round the lung like that. It was a funny feeling seeing it, but such a brilliant feeling to know that the cancer had gone. I'm getting along every day, enjoying every day. I mean, when you first hear that, it could be 2 years, and I'm over that now. I can't believe it. It's over 2.5 years since I was diagnosed.
Yeah, and that time seems to have gone very, very quickly.
It has. And I sometimes think back to where, what you go through, and you think, did I really go through that? I thought about it last night when I went to the toilet of all places, and I thought, wow, it was, the Christmas just gone, that I was on the loo every 5 minutes at night. I wouldn't have been able to be Father Christmas last year. I'd have had to have a loo in the corner and sit on.
But you could have sat on one permanently, couldn't you? You could have put your cloak over the top of it.
Yeah, that's right. But when you think of, you think back, when you was coming into hospital and you had those silly words, should we do a podcast? I said yes. But it was a year ago and nearly died. And then you think to me how I feel this August and September now. And you think, wow.
Yeah, it's great. It's down to all these wonderful charities that are raising money to do more and more research, and these drug companies to come up with these new drugs. It's making life a little bit easier.
And Dr. Patterson for looking into it, they all have to look. They all have to look into these drugs, don't they, to find what they think is going to suit each.
Drugs are changing all the time. So, to have an oncologist that keeps up to date with it all is hugely important.
Oh God, yeah. He's always talking about conferences and things like that other doctors go to, and I'd like to think that Dr. P has got on his forum and said, "My patient's using this and it's cleared up," and then someone else does it and they use it and that helps that another person.
We still haven't found a drug to make you funny, have we?
That's your opinion.
If we could give you that drug just before you do the joke of the week, you never know. It might just be funny. Anyway, moving on, I'd like to introduce you now to an inspirational young man, Ian Trushell. Ian was diagnosed with stage 4 terminal bowel cancer 2 years ago. And at that point, he was given a life expectancy of 2 years. So like you, Martin, he's just passed his 2-year anniversary. We've discussed on here many times that early diagnosis is critical to the success in treating these cancers. But knowing or understanding the symptoms can be a little more difficult. So please listen to Ian now as he explains his story.
I've done quite a few lives now about my stage 4 bowel cancer diagnosis. One of the questions I get asked multiple times, dozens and dozens of times, is what are the signs and symptoms of bowel cancer? There's 3 things you need to look at. And I know I've covered this before, but I make no apologies about covering it again, because if someone who's to see this video who haven't seen any of my previous videos and they've got a concern and it potentially saves their life, then it's absolutely worth it. So the first thing you need to look out for is a long-term tummy ache. Mine was, it felt like cramping in my stomach, and it's the kind of tummy ache that takes your appetite away. The second one is a long-term fatigue. So you're just getting tired a lot more easier. If you're doing any type of phys, any type of running or cycling, it's taking longer to recover. You might you normally take a day to recover. This is going to take 2, 3, 4 days to recover. And something's not right. Your energy levels are extremely low. And the third one, and probably the most important, is blood in your stool. So if you have a bowel movement and you see blood afterwards, then you got to go straight to your GP. That's not a good sign. It could be nothing. It could be piles. It could be internal piles, but you need to get to your doctors. It's that important. There's something not right inside you that needs checking out. Unfortunately for me, that was the thing that did it. I kind of put the previous 2 symptoms on the back burner, but as soon as I had a bowel movement that uncovered a lot of blood, I went straight to my doctors. And 10 days later, when I had a colonoscopy, that's when I discovered it was bowel cancer. So if you've got any of these 3 symptoms or the 3 symptoms all together and you think something isn't right, then I know it's a pain to get into your GP, especially in the UK. I know there's a waiting list. You could be on the phone for potentially an hour waiting to get through. Get yourself to your doctors. It's that important. It's literally a matter of life or death. You could catch it in time. Unfortunately for me, it was a little bit late because mine has now spread to my liver. So you need to get that sorted and checked out as soon as possible.
I thought I'd have had more symptoms than that as well, but it just goes to show that if you've got any doubts, don't be embarrassed about going to your GP, your doctor, to get it checked out. They won't be embarrassed. They've seen these things many a time. So if it puts your mind at rest, go for it. Just don't hesitate. It literally could save your life. Unfortunately, they can't operate because there are too many mets on my liver. It's spread out. It's not one single met. It's akin to a shotgun blast, unfortunately. And because of that, it's not a case of slicing it out of the liver and the liver regenerating. It's too scattered, which they've got to make sure they get everything. And in my case, they can't. Question, what were my symptoms? Looking back, definitely fatigue. I used to go running a lot. I used to cycle and walk/run into work, which the scenic route was about 7 or 8 mile away. And I was absolutely shattered when I got in. And these things 2 years ago wouldn't have bothered me that much. But I was still going for runs, but just finding it harder. But I put that down to age. Low-lying tummy ache, which I previously mentioned before. I thought that was, I'd lay off the chocolate. I thought I was dairy intolerant. And new job, so the stresses of that. I was drinking lots of caffeine as well, so I just put it down to that. And obviously the bowel movement, which led to the colonoscopy, which was bloody, unfortunately.
The symptoms of bowel cancer. We've been talking about symptoms over the last 2 or 3 podcasts, trying to acknowledge that you have a change and you should go and see your doctor. That's what you had eventually, wasn't it? I mean, yours was stage 4.
Yeah. Well, even going back to a further podcast when we went to the Robin Trust, that he had symptoms that he didn't really go to investigate straight away. So yeah, that's the biggest thing we can say. With your illness, you don't know when it's going to happen, really, do you? With a heart attack. I mean, I know you can probably get a few little pains and twinges. I mean, but with cancer, there's certain things that change your body. Although I never really had much to think, oh, I must go to the doctors. The first thing I had was a wheezy chest.
So he went through stages 1, 2, and 3 like you did, without any symptoms or notable symptoms, but maybe there were symptoms there when you look back that you missed.
Yeah. I think with me, there definitely was, because I couldn't lay on my side. And that must have been, I mean, why I didn't twig that I couldn't. I've had so many, because I was doing walking football at the time, and I dived around on the pitch and things like that. So I probably thought, oh, I've got a sore muscle from and that's why I couldn't lay that side. But thinking about it, that's probably because my lung was full of cancer.
Yeah, that is the trouble. As you grow older, you do get a little bit more or a few more aches and pains, and you just take them as growing old, I suppose.
Yeah,
your body should be telling you. Your body should be telling you that there's something wrong.
Yeah. We all know our bodies.
You have a flat line, don't you? You have a line that when you're having a good day and how you should feel. And then anything that sort of deviates from that is a warning.
Yeah.
Depending on the intensity of that pain or whatever it might be, it might be worth getting checked out. Because
so your first heart attack, what were your warnings? Because you didn't know you was going to have a heart attack. You didn't know what a heart attack felt like until you had it. So what were your warnings that first one just before?
Well, I grew up living amongst heart disease because my father died of heart disease. So I knew what all the warning signs were because I'd seen him go through them. So that particular night, the night of my first heart attack, I had a real pain down my left arm. And I knew that this wasn't through, exert myself in the gym or doing any manual labor or anything like that, because I hadn't done anything that day or the previous few days. So this pain just came on. And I was driving on the way to the football and I thought, this isn't right. I know this isn't right.
Yeah.
So I drove home and ended up in hospital and had a heart attack there and then in the hospital while I was laying in the recovery bed. So I was lucky in a way that I'd lived in that environment and noticed what was happening to me.
Yeah.
But if I hadn't have lived in that environment, I don't know what I'd have thought. I think I'd have still carried on to football thinking I've got a pain in my arm and I've strained it in some shape or form.
And sleep it off or something.
And sleep it off,
like
yeah. So it's not easy to recognise these pains when they come out of the unexpected or what any of these signs might be, but you must just, get checked out if you've got anything concern.
100%, folks. 100%, yeah.
The biggest trouble we find today is getting an appointment with a GP. Somebody said it was easy to get Oasis tickets. Get a GP appointment.
I've got haircut 100 tickets. I've got them easy.
Yeah, I was going to say. But I mean, people give up because it's difficult to get a doctor's appointment. It shouldn't be like
Yeah.
that.
It is.
Yeah, well, this is the biggest obstacle that we have now, I think, is actually getting to see a GP. So it's hard enough to get people to go to the doctors anyway when they have a symptom to get checked out, especially men. They seem to put things off and off and off. But when you've got this obstacle of getting through past the receptionist, getting past a consultant of some description, whatever they
That's the word I was looking for, consultant.
Yeah, but what are they? That's the thing. Once you get past them, you finally get to the doctor, who then says, you better come in.
Yeah.
So you've gone through this rigmarole to get to see a doctor. Most people have given up, to be honest with you, especially when you said phone up at 8:30, But the time 8:30 comes around the next day, most people have forgotten about it, because you tend to ring the doctor when the pain is at its worst or you're at your lowest or whatever. But you ring at that point because you've had enough. And then you get put off and off and off. And by the time you should be ringing again, that feeling has gone away and that's not so important to you. Anyway, the moral of the story is that, get in touch with your GP if you've got any concerns or something doesn't feel right.
No.
You're not wasting their time. You might be saving your life. So get in contact with the GP. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
That's what they pay for, guys.
Hey?
That's what they pay for.
I know, yeah.
Come on, Mark. Let's have a joke of the week. Time for Martin's joke of the week.
Did you know I kept snails, by the way?
No, I didn't.
Well, let me tell you. I took the shell off my racing snail the other day, thinking it would make him faster, but if anything, it's made him sluggish.
Brilliant. Lovely. Anyway, on that note, it's been lovely talking to you today.
You too, mate.
And we'll be back next week as usual.
Yes, we will.
Health permitting, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Message or moral of today's episode: if you think something's wrong, get on the phone to the doctor.
And also, look out for Christmas.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yes, thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye, everyone. Ho, ho, ho.
Bye.
You've been listening to the Who's Tom and Dick podcast with your hosts, Martin Weavers and Patrick Mortimer. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or your favorite streaming platform. New episodes are available every Friday. Thanks for tuning in.